I keep wanting to say, so you may have to correct me or bail
You're
me out.
good.
America Fest West. I say because we're in Phoenix here, and it's 4 hours west from where I live in New Orleans, right?
Okay.
So to me, it is west.
Yeah.
It's America Fest.
It's AmFest.
It's AmFest West is what I'm calling it. We're in AmFest. We are live, and when we're not live, we're live on the stage, from the stage, so you can catch the entirety of the conference on our app, which you can download, the Crusade Radio Network app, or here on the Crusade Radio Network channel on YouTube, or on X.com, or on our own Roku app, which you can find on any Roku-capable TV, like that one right there, which we are streaming live on right now. I'm here with Chrissy Clark, who is with Turning Point USA, TP USA, media, YouTube, journalist all around. She has been with TP USA since 2016.
Yes, sir.
You were an intern.
Yeah.
So I thought Charlie started the whole thing in 2016.
Yeah, no, I was a founding member of some of the very first chapters. I'm pretty sure it started in 2015, and then, or actually maybe it was 2014. But within those first 2 years, yeah, I founded one of the first couple chapters. And
you're a founding mother.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll be a father, founding father.
Yeah. Was it here at ASU? Or?
No, I went to Michigan State.
Okay.
So yeah, we did it at Michigan State. It was awesome. I went to the second ever AmFest, but it was called Student Action Summit at the time. So we went to the Student Action Summit, which was a blast, absolute blast. And it used to be 100 people, and Charlie Kirk would just sit there and talk with us on little beach chairs at this convention center or it wasn't even the convention center yet, it was just a hotel in Florida, and now it's 20,000 people strong. So to watch the movement go from what it was to what it is now, it's just incredible.
Well, I think it's the movement, this is the youth end of the MAGA movement.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, no, and that's why it's been so fun to be a part of it through literally all of my youth has been, I'm Gen Z, so still pretty young, but watching the whole movement, grow up from what it was to what it is now, it's really impressive.
I like the scene that I'm imagining of you guys in the beach chairs.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Well, because I'm thinking of, I saw a video the other day. You're going to have to, my age is going to come through in a moment here. I saw a video the other day. There's a band, and the only reason I know about it is because I'm the father of twin daughters, and they would make me listen to their music when they were in the car. So there is a band, it's called MGMT.
Oh, yeah.
The song is Control Yourself, what you need from it. Okay, that song,
okay.
Right? So this song is a #1 hit.
Yeah.
All right, it's one of the most played songs of the 2000 to 2010 decade. Somebody found a video of these two guys doing this song live with an actual record player as DJs in 2001.
Wow.
Yeah, in beach chairs.
Wow.
When you said beach chairs,
That's amazing.
I went, oh, MGMT.
There you go, yeah.
And they were like, it's only these two dudes knew, and it was that song. They were doing it.
Interesting.
Only these two dudes knew at this little festival, and they pan the camera, and there's 13 people there, right?
Interesting.
That they had written live at this little event, the future #1 hit. They couldn't have imagined it.
Yeah, no.
You couldn't have imagined it in your beach chair with Charlie.
It was going to be this. I mean, knowing Charlie back then and watching what he's done with it, I really can't imagine that it got to this scale because he's so impressive and he's always had such a hard work and dedication to this movement. And I'm just really grateful that there was nothing that made him falter. He just stuck with it, and it's always been so encouraging to watch.
The public doesn't know much about it, but have there been serious challenges?
To what?
To Charlie's to building this.
I actually think that it was really difficult this was more on the action side as opposed to the Turning Point USA side, but standing with President Trump in 2020 was not popular, even among Republicans. After January 6th, I think a lot of people got up in arms and said, oh, we can't support this guy anymore, and this better be the bending straw or whatever. And so for Turning Point to stand by him during all of that, I think was a pivotal point in Turning Point as it is, and it made it what it is now. I just think it's really important that they did that.
Okay, so you are now doing videos.
Yeah.
What are the videos? Tell me about the one with the 5 stories you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah, so I run a podcast, and it's a show on YouTube, Rumble, X, wherever you get videos. And it's called Underreported Stories. So it's 5 stories that if you turned into CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, you wouldn't hear about, or you just wouldn't hear about enough. And really what my goal was to just get my fellow journalist friends more publicity for the stories that they already talk about. And I just started doing it on fun for TikTok in 2019, and it really grew quickly. Accrued about 500,000 followers pretty quickly. It has been a wild ride and really fun.
500,000
across platforms, yeah.
Wow. Can you do a video for me? I'm stuck at 2,000 and have been. No, actually, we're building an audience to an organic
yes.
one. So how long have you been? So you said you were a journalist for years.
Yep. Yeah. So I've worked at all the places in conservative media. I worked at the Federalist, the Washington Free Beacon, the Daily Wire, and the Daily Caller. And then this year I decided to go independent.
I don't remember your byline at the Federalist, and I read it every day, but I probably saw it.
Oh, yeah. It would have been 2019 to 2020.
Okay.
That was when I worked there.
It's one of my go-tos every day.
Yeah, they're great. I loved working there. I genuinely can say my time there was a blast. I learned a ton. I got to be on the back end of podcasting, which I think is really important to develop those back end skills, even if you want to be in front of the camera.
Okay.
It's important to know. So I loved my time there. It was a great time.
Yeah. Sean, today's Saturday, so Wednesday?
Yeah.
Molly Hemingway kind of revealed that the Biden administration has been censoring the Federalists.
Wow.
And that they had to basically take them to court.
Wow.
To stop them from it's something about how their ads are displaying on the Federalist site, and that there's another suppression program that's functioning, and they actually traced it back to the Biden regime. And then she said that we had to. It's a shame. We live in the United States of America. We're a media entity, and we have to sue our own government for freedom of speech. Basically,
no, that's absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't shock me, but I've also seen those back end numbers, and they're still doing pretty good if they're being suppressed. Very impressive operation that they run over there. But I mean, the government is trying to crack down in so many ways. You could look at that not only with Federalists, but with the TikTok ban as well. They're trying to suppress that speech as well. I mean, luckily TikTok isn't taking it rolling over. They're going to the Supreme Court fighting against it for free speech, because free speech, the Supreme Court has already ruled that free speech is not just the ability to speak, it's the ability to hear it too. So hindering that across the board with suppressing the Federalists allegedly, or suppressing speech on TikTok, it's problematic.
Trad Pat, toss me one of those constitutions right there. I always have one with me. Civics lesson, Civics 101.
Welcome to Mike's classroom.
Read those first 2 sentences right there.
Congress shall make no law.
Stop the tape. Congress shall make no law.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Congress shall make no law. Read Article 1, Section 1, all the way through Section 8, and then you'll understand there's nothing that is called the federal government of the United States. It was not brought into existence. It can't be brought out of existence by the United States Congress.
Right.
Congress legislates. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They pass the law. If someone is censoring the Federalist or TPUSA or Turning Point Action or the Mike Church Show or the Crusade Radio Network, and they're using the government of the United States to do it, this says Congress shall make no law. So they're claiming an authority to do it, right? Mm-hmm. They're violating the First Amendment, literally.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a purist when it comes to the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what happened to you in your state. That's not the First Amendment. That's Arizona's First Amendment's business.
Yeah.
If Congress didn't do it or the federal government didn't do it, it's not a First Amendment issue. But in this instance, this is a First Amendment, literally a First Amendment issue.
Yeah. No, it's problematic. I'm interested to see what the Federalist actually unveils. I mean, their investigative team over there, I'm sure they've dug really into it, so I'm interested to see where they...
So what did you write about when you were at the Federalist and writing for the other publications?
In 2019, when I was at the Federalist, I was 2019 to 2020, so I was covering the 2020 election for them, which was cool gig right out of college. When I went over to the Free Beacon, I became an education reporter, and I really honed in on a lot of the education issues. So I remember Loudoun County was a big story, and I helped break a lot of stories out of Loudoun County, Virginia, where that was a big time. And then I moved over to the Daily Wire.
You were covering the school board stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
I did read you.
Yeah.
Absolutely read you.
Yeah.
And gave you credit on air.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did a lot of work for that at the Free Weekend, and then continued to do that over at the Daily Wire. Stayed on as education reporter, but also got to move a little bit more into talent role and trying to, develop shows and stuff like that over there. So it was really fun. And then when I went over to the Daily Caller, I stuck with education for a little bit longer, and then also moved into a role as talent over and doing YouTube stuff for them, which helped build me up to where I am now.
I wrote for the Daily Caller from 2013 to 2015.
Oh, I just love their team.
Way back in the day. I don't know if you know Jordan Bloom, but he was the editor at the time.
Oh, gotcha.
The opinion page editor at
Nice.
at the Daily Caller. I'd say it's one of those older publications that's been around for a long time that people don't seem to reference very often anymore. But that's a big site.
Yeah, I know. It was a great place to work for.
What's your favorite topic?
I mean,
okay, let's say next year, what's going to be your favorite topic? What are you going to focus on?
Well, I broadened out now. I talk about anything that interests me, I'll talk about. So tomorrow it might be transgender issues. The next day we might be talking about abortion. I don't know. We'll talk about anything. I really will. I think it's important to, especially if you're building your content creating and doing this for a living.
Yes.
You can't just be talking about one thing. You got to go where people are interested in talking about. But more important, when I'm passionate about it, I'm going to talk about it. So I'll talk about it all.
And and are you a daily?
Yes and no. I put out content daily, but we film bulk film on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, and that show is the one
that's Underreported Stories. It goes out Tuesdays and Thursdays as a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not a video version. It's just,
it is a video version.
Oh, it is video.
It's video and audio. Yep.
Okay, is it on it's on your channel?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can get it on Spotify, Apple, X, Rumble. We're about to go. I'm working with Parler to get a Play TV all set up.
I just interviewed Brian Ferry.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The CEO of Parler,
Yeah.
the guy who relaunched it.
Parler, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and I don't know if they're making a big deal about it from the stage, maybe not. But the relaunch, because of what happened to them, what was done to them.
I know, it was awful.
Talk about a story.
Yeah.
But he was telling me that the new Parler is using blockchain and is using the cloud, and he goes, they'll never cancel us again. It'll never happen because he's almost like Trump. He said literally from the ashes of defeat, right?
Yeah.
Because they took everything from them.
I know. Parler 1 walked so Parler 2 could run.
And they sold the company. This is new owners.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to download the app, see who's on it, and then to use the live streaming feature.
I'm on it. I'm excited to be using it. It's going to be a blast. I just need to get my pages set up and running.
So did you hit the big stage?
No, not this year. I did a panel this year, which was really fun. I got to sit down with some of my fellow contributors over at Turning Point, and we talked about how to have good discussions with liberals, even though that could be really difficult.
How do you do that?
I talk to people like they're people. I think that's kind of what won Turning Point, or helped Turning Point Action win this election, was Charlie going to college campuses and not talking to people like they're stupid, leveling with them like they're honest, normal people, and trying to win them over with common sense. It's the best way you can talk and communicate to this generation. We've been told, and our whole lives now have been marred by COVID, where we were told, don't say this, or we can't tell you the truth about this because you're not smart enough to understand it. And so somebody that comes to a college campus and levels with you and could just explain it to you in very basic common sense, it's like life-changing. It really opens your eyes.
We knew that COVID was a sham in 2019 before it even began. And I knew that the propaganda videos that were coming out of China, I'm like, are you people stupid? This is communist China. Do you really think that they would allow a video of what they claim is happening, if that actually was what was happening, that they would allow the world to know about it? Are you serious? Please.
Yeah.
So this is just critical thinking.
Yeah.
All you had to do, if you spent 1 hour in January or February of 2020, if you spent 1 hour just reading actual data, looking at actual data, which you could have gotten out of Italy. They used the data out of Italy to say that there was a pandemic. You could also look at that data and go like, no, there's not. All I got to do is go back a couple of years and I see the exact same number of ILIs, influenza-like illness cases, right?
Yeah.
There was no bump at all. Was it a bad flu season? No, there actually have been worse flu seasons. When Obama was president, during the swine flu epidemic or whatever it was. So the whole thing was a sham. I I appreciate very much what you said about how young people's lives have been inexorably altered.
Yeah.
As a result of what was done. Think about a little girl who's 10 years younger than you,
Yeah.
who was told she can't go to school, she can't go give grandma a hug who's dying because
Yeah.
you're going to kill her, right?
It's so sad.
She has to wear this piece of cloth over her face, even though
Yeah.
she's no threat to anyone.
No.
All of her social engagements, her entire life was turned upside down and brought to a screeching halt. And then with jab mandates, many of her peers, if not someone that she actually knows, may have suffered myocarditis as a result of the jab. Talk about a blow.
Yeah, no, it was wild. And I feel like sometimes we've pretty much memory hold most of COVID, but it's also, we forget the fear that was there, and fear is one hell of a drug, and I think that's what Democrats tried to do when it came to this election, was install that same set of fear that we had in COVID, and then bring that to the election in hopes of bringing people out to vote because they're fearful of something. But it really was, which is ironic given that they ran on a message of hope. Yeah, but I think that's what was really different about this election, was that Republicans were really running on this message of hope combined with, we don't have to fearmonger you. Just look at what you're living in. That's fearmongering enough, right?
Right.
So I think it was very effective to use it this way, as opposed to running post-COVID was definitely difficult.
Well, I want to thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Chrissy Clark.
Yes,
and
that's
you
fine.
can find her on all your social media.
Yes,
You're hiding
you
in
can.
plain sight.
I really am. You can always just Google my name. Chrissy is spelled Chrisssy, Clark, Clark.
And you live here in Phoenix?
I don't. I live in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm in Nashville. And
Are you in Nashville?
no, I lived there for like 3 years now.
Why'd you go to Michigan? Why'd you go to Michigan State?
I went
Tom
there.
Brady.
That he went to Michigan. No, I picked to go. I was living in the Midwest at the time.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm Canadian, so it was close to home.
Are you really?
I am.
Are you an American citizen now?
I am. I moved to America when I was 5.
Legally?
Yes, legally. Crazy.
Hey, who knew it can actually be done legally?
It can. We sat in the immigration backlog for 13 years though, so I became a citizen when I was 17.
That's what happens.
It's insane.
That's what happens.
I know.
I have a sister-in-law, my brother's wife, 13 years.
It's nutty.
And she came from the UK.
Yeah.
And it was...
We're a big threat.
You are a big threat, actually.
Yeah, to the government now.
Right this time.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Church, we're going to sign off and send you back to the stage. Live here, I want to thank Chrissy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Impressive young lady. I'm an old guy.
Stop.
I'm sorry. But impressive young lady here working with Turning Point USA. Best live interviews you've had all weekend here at Turning Point USA's America Fest, AmFest.
Yeah,
For the
baby.
uninitiated, it is amfest.com.
Yeah.
That is the website, amfest.com. So we have 3 interviews left to go, so don't go anywhere. Send you back to the live stage here. I'm Mike Church here for the Crusade Radio Network Live Talk Campaign Convention, radio and TV the way it should be. Thank you.
Thank you. So nice meeting you.